live on YouTube, and we're live in the Sun and Moon's Zoom room. All right. Well, I hope everybody's safe. This is such an event of this weather event affecting so many people. And thank you for taking this time to join in for this practice. That's such a important life tool for so many of us. So I see Luna's joined us. Welcome, Luna. We're just about getting started. And let's do that. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Alrighty. Okay, so let's arrive. I've got a space heater going. If I start to be difficult to hear, let me know. I'll turn it off. So arriving. Just hearing that word, that invitation. Notice what happens as you arrive. What happens in your mind? What happens in your body? And let me backtrack a moment. You can stay where you are in arriving mode, but just in case you haven't, one important step is getting prepared for what's coming up in this half hour. And some of that is just sitting still, sitting quietly. Some of it will be, you could do the movement, the mini movement will be I'm going to do it from seated. You could do it from standing. I might actually do it from kneeling. So there'll be options. If you choose to be doing this reclining in bed, that's absolutely fine too. The other thing you may want to prepare are things that you know you might need. I often want to make sure I have tissues nearby. Since I'm talking a bit, I have something to drink to wet my whistle. Even though I've got a nice sweater on as we do this practice that's quite quiet, the body cools down, and I've got extra layers to throw on top of myself. So just let yourself have what you need to be prepared. If you don't have all that, go run and get what you need in the next minute or so. I'm going to share 2 poems today, and as you continue to arrive or get what you need and then arrive, I'll share a poem from Danna Faulds' book, Go In, and actually it's the poem of that name. As you listen to these words, let the poetry do what it does so well. What art does is take you in as she's guiding us to go into that place that's already always here, but we're usually busy with attending to what else is catching our attention, the sparks, the fires, the moving things are often what's catching our attention. Go in and in. Be the space between 2 cells. The vast, resounding silence in which spirit dwells. Be sugar dissolving on the tongue of life. Dive in and in as deep as you can dive. Be infinite, ecstatic truth. Be love conceived and born in union. And be exactly what you seek. The beloved singing, yes. Tasting, yes. Embracing, yes. Until there is only essence, the all of everything expressing through you, as you. Go in and turn away from nothing that you find. So the poem may have done much of this for us, but I'll just give another few guide points to touch in to just right here, to just this presence. Feeling, for example, especially, are whatever is touching the ground, the surface underneath us. Perhaps the carpet, the cushion you might be sitting on, the sheets of your bed. And just letting attention linger there. With the feel, the textures, this whole stream of information that's coming just from what we're attending to, which is, I feel, so magical. For me, that sort of plate, it's a little bit triangular from me sitting on the ground cross-legged, of that contact between my legs, my jeans, the carpet, the tiles underneath that, the concrete underneath that. And the whole highways, all the highways and networks of my nervous system that feed this to my knowing. You can keep a little of your attention spinning there while also now folding in breath, our attention, awareness of breath. Awareness of breath. And so I've got three things spinning, sort of like, I don't know if I'm thinking DJs that spin three records. We've got our groundedness, our attention to where we are on the ground and our body. I've got breath. And then I'm also attending to the sounds around me. This delightful, icy precipitation outside. And as the poet suggested in her last line, turn away from nothing that you find. But the step before that, this preparation of noticing our ground, this feeling of where we are, this orienting ourselves with right here, no matter what's happening, the sensing of the ever-present stream of breath. As long as we're alive, it's available. And then the connection to that we're also there's something around us. There's the room, the snow here where I am, the town, the awareness of the whole region of the country that's getting snow, the awareness of the whole planet that's experiencing this day. And note how all that is right here, effortlessly for us to just behold. And we may feel that some of that comes more to the foreground, to the background. And I would invite that the main background is this going in and in to that spaciousness, that capital P presence, capital A awareness. That's especially potently felt in the gaps between our breaths, in the silences between sounds. So from whatever position you're in, if you're lying down, you can do this one from where you are. We'll begin to move our arms with our breath. So you can listen for one round And you're welcome to join in immediately, especially if you know you've done movements with arms and breath before. So as I begin my inhale, I'll start to move my arms upward. It can be in front of you, to the sides of you, up, up, up. And then at the top, wherever my arms stop, I pause, holding the breath a moment, easy moment. And when the out breath begins, then follow with the arms moving back down. So if you're whatever orientation you're in, you can do this. And at the end of the out breath, pause. And then as the in breath begins, we lift the arms again. As the out in breath ends, pause again. And then float the arms down and just continue at your own pace. If you find yourself straining, I would invite to go a little more lightly, softly. There's no need for strain. It's fun and it's good to challenge yourself. Perhaps you hold your breath just a little bit longer. You feel where that edge is of holding the breath, where it's a challenge and interesting and fun, but then when it's too much, you do less. You adjust. And after the next time you complete your out breath, your arms down on your body, on the ground, let's pause. Pause the movement. And we're in a very similar place to where we were when we first started arriving. And yet something is new. Just with those bits of attention to our body, our breath, our movement, to sounds, to surroundings. Just anchoring ourselves right in the here and now. Which I like to refer to, as many of my teachers have, as the vertical dimension. It's just right here where I am. The horizontal is always changing. It's always like the next moment, the next sound, the next distraction, the next thought, the stream flowing. And yet that vertical is always right here, even though we may not be aware of it. So let's take this same movement again, and this time we'll just do it a few times. This time I invite you to, as you do it, and you're focusing on breath and movement, that's the main words I use to guide the movement, be noticing also all of yourself, the body on the ground, the spine, how the movements that you feel loudly, perhaps in the shoulders and the arms and hands, how they ripple through the whole body, maybe even into your legs and feet. So begin when you're ready. As the in-breath begins, let the arms reach and lift in front of you, beside you. Pause a moment, and then bringing the arms down with the exhale. Pausing. And noticing all of yourself, the skin, the organs are inside, your facial expression. And then when you next bring your arms down, pause a moment. We'll continue in just a moment, but I'm going to do something a little different. The inhale will be divided in half. So now the inhale begins, you bring the arms halfway up, pause there, a little gap, and then continue the in-breath, filling up the lungs. Pause again. And same with the out breath. We breathe out, pause halfway through, pause in movement and breath, and then finish the out breath. So now there's 4 pauses in these two, the in breath and out breath. So inhale halfway, pause the arm movement, complete the inhale and the reaching up movement, pause. Exhale part way, pausing. Exhale all the way and pause. So just continue on your own, adjusting the pace, the pause length, the breath length, as you need to make this enjoyable, and feeling the integration of all of this with the all of what we're experiencing. If you need to take a longer pause at any point, a rest, feel free. And we'll just do another full round of breathing. Oops. Yeah, never mind. And when you finish that next full round, once again, just arrive at this new spot that you're in, this new vertical now. And for yourself, I do this often, integrating the language we bring, the reporting we do to ourselves. We're doing it all the time. We're our own sports commentator in our mind, reporting what we're feeling. If you've ever noticed, we notice that potently when we're going to get into our meditation part soon, our silence part. Is as we've just done this, and you're silent and still. What is the experience you're having right now? It might be, and so it might be some distraction you have. It might be, oh, what's my intention for this practice? It might be what's hurting, what's aching. And if possible for you, if you feel comfortable to it, in your own space, you're all muted, but just say it out loud for yourself. So to model this for you, I feel a calmness, but I feel an achiness in my hip joints. And as you say it out loud, there's many benefits in it. You're hearing yourself, you're involving more senses to confer, like hear and know, is that really my experience, to sort of check it out. And so if and you're feeling for that resonance, is what I'm reporting true? Can I say it more concisely? And it might be what you feel is an expression. You might do a gesture. I think I did even a calmness with my hands, calmness. And another benefit of that is it's part of that bridge from those moments that we're able to access that quiet, that home, that eternal moment, that eternal essence of ourselves that is elusive when we're busy, when we're distracted, when we're challenged. And to make that bridge of, okay, here's what I'm listening for. And then here's the language that helps me go forward into the world. And kind of a slowed down checking with, is that the accurate assessment of what's happening for me. So it might have brought us back up into our head a little bit, which is fine. It's all part of it. And now come back to your breath as we embark on the sitting and stillness, silence part, which is often called meditation. And so perhaps you stay in the same position that you've been for a bit, or perhaps you adjust. I just lifted my seat a little to help the achiness in my hips. Put the props where you need them. Yes, perhaps you lie down. That can be delicious. And then again, we arrive at this new moment, and we can assess, where am I? Where am I now? What's supporting me? The floor, my breath, this community gathered here right now, and all of you who watch later. This community, this network that helps us on our own practice, on the journey of our own practice. I forgot to ring my bell at the beginning of the practice, which I usually like to do, so I'll use it for the start of our 7-minute meditation. As my teacher often says, just before meditation, have a good journey. So meditation practice is so very simple, just to be still, to be that witnessing presence that we are, right where you are. And yet, like in any good story, we are often met right away with obstacles, or maybe partway into the meditation with obstacles and challenges that our mind starts flooding in, and or our body starts to to talk to us in its various tones. And one wonderful open secret is that you can just let it all be. But not just let it be, there's a component of greeting it. I like that word, greeting it. A lot of times my teachers have used the word, or I've used the word welcome, and that hasn't always been true for me. I'd say it and I'm like, the resonance wasn't there. I'm not ready to welcome that aching hip, but I can greet it. I could say, oh yeah, hi there, aching hip. I see you. I see you. You're with me. I get it. It just allows that next feeling that's present is, I really don't want you here. And then go back and back and back, and not so far back in the background is the I that's seeing all this, that's unharmed by any of this and unchanged, and is really our truest self. And rest again in that, again and again and again. And if you find yourself on a trip in your mind, whether it's to some problem solving, to some body experience, and you feel that you're not meditating, first celebrate that. Celebrate it, because that means the awareness has come back into the foreground. And just let that be just a quick, and you might have noticed you named it like I had the practice earlier of us saying out loud what was the sensation, the experience we were having. And that's a practice we can linger in and work with. I call it focusing. But in meditation, you just sort of like notice it, but let it go. You can come back to it another time. Because the main practice now is the bringing of that background of I am with you to the foreground. One of our meditation teachers, Adyashanti, I think he often said, if you wrestle with your mind, you're bound to lose. So another good technique as we're in stillness and silence meditation, when you feel pulled out of it, just touch base with your body. Don't engage with the mind. Just body, ground, breath. And you may find that brings us right back to what David Whyte calls the old wild place. And I'll read you this poem as you sit silently and still for another few minutes or minute. After the good earth, where the body knows itself to be real, and the mad flight, where it gives itself to the world, we give ourselves to the rhythm of love, leaving the breath to know its way home. And after the first pure fall, the last letting go, and the calm breath where we go to rest, we'll return again to find it and feel again the body welcomed, the body held, the strong arms of the world, the water, the waking at dawn, and the thankful, almost forgotten, curling up to sleep with the dark, the old wild place beyond all shame. Maybe your breath changed a little right there with the sound of the bell. And as we come to this close in our practice, just before we bow to end it together, and you can just stay where you are if you're reclining, or you can move. I just would like to invite that today's practice, to notice that today's practice of just bringing attention to the breath and the pause that we can have after the breath, or halfway through, or at the top of the in-breath, that these can be, in addition to the little homeworks of pause and consciously be aware of 3 breaths a couple times through your day, on the hour, if you could remember. I don't remember, but a few times a day. And to just feel that pause. Or sometimes you might, if like Mike, I sometimes catch myself, I'm doing something or thinking, I'm at the dishes or computer, and I catch myself not breathing. You can notice that's a pause. Your body was creating this pause for you naturally. It was like, please pause. So we can, and that those pauses help us drop into that deeper, bigger wholeness of ourselves. I bow to myself, to this practice, to you all, and I recognize and hope that this practice benefits all beings widely. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm going to turn off the recording for the future joiners, future yogis, and see you guys next time, the future people. And if those of you who would like